He's not your typical every down running back. He's only going to be a pass catching running back at the next level. Did you see his 40-yard dash at the combine? He isn't very fast. Matter of fact, he's probably slow for a running back. These are all the things that we're hearing about Kyren Williams right now out of Notre Dame. And I remember watching Notre Dame games throughout the season and seeing Kyren Williams and saying, hey, there's a little something to this game. I wouldn't mind taking a little bit more of a glimpse into him. And then when this offseason hit and the Miami Dolphins traded away their first and second round picks, and they're probably out of the market for the Kenneth Walkers, the Isaiah Spillers, the Breece Halls. We'll see how the draft goes. But they're looking more so in the tier of the Kyren Williams if everything goes as scheduled. So I wanted to do a draft profile preview for Kyren Williams just because I think there's a little something to his game. But let's talk about that ability as a pure runner because he gets knocked on that. However, if you watch his game, he's best in those wide zone schemes that we are probably going to see in a Mike McDaniel offense because he's not this awesome power back and he's not this blazing speed back that's going to just outrun all the defenders. And I've got a stat coming up for you here that's just going to probably blow your mind if you haven't read it already. But yeah, he did run a 4.65 in the 40-yard dash. But check out this example here of more of the zone scheme. You're going to see him wait it out, let the blocks hit, and then once he finds his hole, he picks it and he goes and he scores on this play. So he's letting the blocks go, he's widening them out. He picks his hole, boom, he's through the hole. But here's where we're going to see that speed. Number 48 from Toledo likely shouldn't have a chance at catching him. As you can see, he comes pretty damn close. So yeah, the outright breakout speed isn't there, but honestly, if we're looking at running backs right now, that's not a thing that's super common as well. And I did a little bit of research, and this is that stat I was talking about. You have to go back to 2018 for the last time a player on the Miami Dolphins had a single carry that went for more than 31 yards. You want to know the saddest part about that stat? It was in December of 2018. It was Kalen Balaj had a 75-yard touchdown against the Vikings. But that's the thing with running backs right now. We're overvaluing this idea of like they have to hit a home run every single time. Clearly, that's not always the case. Haven't had a run for more than 31 yards over the last 3 years. But you kind of talk about where his weaknesses are and what his limitations are as a natural runner. And yeah, he kind of gets caught dancing behind the line of scrimmage sometimes. He tries to bounce everything outside, comes back to haunt him probably more often than it helps him. But these are, in my opinion, more areas where he can improve rather than outright weaknesses. I mean, look at the last 2 years at Notre Dame. The guy still had 27 rushing touchdowns. And I want to show you another rushing clip here before I get on to his pass catching ability, because this is more of like an RPO based run, which we probably will see with Tua being quarterback with the Dolphins. So I'll pop this one up real quick. You'll see it here. He takes the handoff, finds his alley, breaks in, and then right here, he can cut in, out. Oh, he left that guy right in the dust. And then I talk about those 27 touchdowns over the last couple of years. Kind of gives number 91 the lazy leg there, doesn't give up, says, hey, we've come this far, we're scoring. Here's another angle of that play where you can really see that jump cut move. Rather than bouncing it in, he says, nope, I'm going to set up in. I've got a lot of space off to my right here, and I've got blockers over here. Gives 91 kind of that lazy leg, and then is not going to be denied from that point on. So there's potential there as that runner. One of the other weaknesses I do want to talk about, it's the ball security. In the regular season in 2021 last year at Notre Dame, he had 3 fumbles, lost 1. The year before, he had 5 fumbles, lost 3. So that was in 2020. Obviously, need to improve there. But you talk about areas where he's already strong, and it is that receiving ability. And a lot of that probably comes from his time when he was in high school. He played wide receiver in high school. But his sophomore and junior seasons at Notre Dame, he had nearly 80 catches, nearly 700 yards. I think it was 4 receiving touchdowns. He can run all of the routes from the backfield, from the slot. He does good work in the screen game as well. And the one example I have here for you in the pass game is, you're going to see it when I pull it up, that he lines up in the slot left. I'll pull it up right now and talk about it as we hear. But he sets his defender up well, hard cut inside, and then he catches that ball in traffic there. And then it's off to the races. He doesn't get caught here. I will actually, I'll play that one again here so you can see it for the second time. but he sets his man up well, knows that that linebacker is waiting for him, still has the wherewithal to hang on to his route, not bail on his quarterback, keep his eye on the ball, and then from there he houses it. So obviously the ability as a pass catcher is there. No one's going to knock him on that. But one of his other strengths that kind of goes unnoticed sometimes from the running back position, but doesn't go unnoticed from the coaches, is his pass protection. This comes from him just having that want to attitude. You can see his size below on the screen right there. This ability is not usual for a guy of his size, but he scans the field well. He identifies where the blitzers are coming from. And what that does is that allows him to be on the field on all downs. So let's move into his potential fit with the Dolphins as we wrap this up, because I think if he's selected, he's probably a rotational piece this rookie season before you see what happens to these other pieces, the Myles Gaskins, the Raheem Mosterts, the Savon Ahmeds, because all those guys are on 1-year deals at this point. Chase Edmonds is only on a 2-year deal right now at this point. So to say that Miami is done just because they have all these pieces is probably not the right assumption to make, because there's more room on this roster, especially after this year. The position is going to be thin once again. I think long-term in the NFL, he's probably best if he's always part of a committee, but that ability as a pass catcher, that ability in pass pro, that's going to keep him on the field. And that's going to keep some uncertainty for the opposing defenses where, well, he's on the field. It could be a run or a pass. And that is only going to help you more and more as you develop into the NFL. But I still think his pass catching ability as a running back is something that Mike McDaniel values. And that's one of the strengths of Williams. So a name to keep an eye on. I was checking out some mock draft information, and I like to go to the mock draft database because it's basically a collection of a ton of mock drafts, and it just kind of gives you averages of the round they'll be taken, the overall selection they'll be taking. And right now he's projected as a 4th rounder, which is 112th overall according to the mock draft database. But another player to keep an eye on, like I said, I know he hasn't had the best offseason by any means, but there's something to his game that I think is still intriguing to NFL teams, and only time will tell. But hopefully that helps a little bit. I'd like to hear your comments on Kyren Williams as well. Let me know your thoughts when you get some free time. And until next time, Dolphins fans, we'll see you.